Hello, I'm Rebecca of Orin Korea who tells you everything about Korea. Why are you interested in Korea? Is it because of BTS or Blackpink? Or is it because of Korean movies such as Parasite and Minari that won the Academy Award? If not, is it because of Squid Game? There are many reasons why you are interested in Korea. Is there anyone who likes Korea but can't explain exactly why? Don't worry about it. I prepared this for those people today. Today's topic is 7 reasons to be interested in Korea. I will teach you step by step. If you don't understand, you just memorize it. Let's start now. First, Korea is an advanced country and is ready to cooperate with all the countries in the world. Korea is no longer a small country on the periphery. Korea, once the world's first country, is now proudly included in the world advanced countries. Global statistics attest. Here are some of the list. World 10th largest global economy. Bloomberg Innovation Index number 1 in the world. World number 6 export. Number 1 hydrogen car seller in the world. The world top 5 automobile manufacturers. The world number 1 semiconductor export, especially the world number 1 memory semiconductor market share. The world number 3 competitive edge in manufacturing. The world's second largest producer of biopharmaceuticals. The world number 1 shipbuilding order, especially LNG carriers. World first 5G commercialization. First, among 33 countries, based on evaluation of OECD digital government. UK Monaco, Korea ranked second in soft power world in 2020. Bloomberg, Korea ranks 5th in the world to live in during COVID-19. US global firepower, military force ranks 6th in the world. World first largest overseas patent application. It's hard to enumerate. The world's best quarantine system, the best idol groups such as BTS and Korean movies like Parasite, which won 4 Academy Awards, are becoming representative images of Korea. So I know some of you might ask, is Korea the best? I'm not saying Korea is the best. Now, Korea is ready to cooperate with people of any race and culture. Korea was ruined in 1950 by Korean War for 3 years. However, Korea has risen above the tragedy and achieved the result listed earlier. It can be a role model for less developed countries. We have the ability to pass on our knowledge and know-how. Also, we are ready to cooperate with economically and culturally developed countries. As I will continue to say, Korea is ready to lead the future market. Korea even has the geographical advantages of semiconductors, electric vehicle batteries, and logistics hub. If you are learning Korean at this point, it is an excellent choice. Believe in your choice. Korea will be with you. The second reason to be interested in Korea is Korea can lead the future market. In the future, gasoline internal combustion engine vehicle will be kicked out and electric cars will become the norm. The UK has announced that it will suspend all sales of petrol internal combustion engines from 2030. Norway also announced that it would ban internal combustion engine cars from 2025. Germany, Denmark, and Sweden from 2030. France from 2040. Korea from 2035. And California, the largest auto market in the United States, from 2035. This story is about electric cars becoming a trend in the future. The fact that electric cars are becoming a trend is not only good for electric car sales companies like Tesla. It is also good for companies that produce batteries and semiconductors for electric vehicles. In particular, Korea's battery share is increasing day by day. South Korea's LG has a 23.5% global battery share. Samsung has 5.8% and SK has 5.4%. This means that Korea takes 34.7% of the world battery market share. In particular, starting with this year's summit between the US and South Korea's LG and SK and the US, GM, and Ford have decided to cooperate on batteries. Especially, Ford officially declared that it would only sell electric vehicles in Europe starting in 2030. For that reason, Korea's electric vehicle battery market share will increase further. Also, Korea will establish an electric vehicle battery production plant in the US and Europe to supply electric vehicle batteries. This will have a massive job creation effect, not only in Korea but also in the United States and Europe. Korea's role is even more important not only for electric vehicle batteries but also for semiconductors. We'll need a lot of semiconductors for vehicles in the future. Korea is definitely the #1 country in both semiconductor export and semiconductor market share. The production of semiconductors in Korea is not enough to keep up with the world semiconductor demand. So, Korea will make a bold investment in the United States. South Korea's Samsung invested $17 billion in Texas to build a semiconductor plant. This is largely aimed at meeting the demand for semiconductors in the US. Like this, Korea is quickly preparing for the future market. The third reason to be interested in Korea is that Korea can become a maritime logistics hub by pioneering the Arctic route. The Arctic route is a route that connects Asia and Europe through the Arctic Ocean. So far, the representative route from Asia to Europe is the Suez Canal. However, the Suez Canal takes a long time to ship logistics from East Asia, Southeast Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. The shortest distance is definitely the Arctic route if conditions are good. In 2021, the need for Arctic route grew even more. The reason is because of the stranded container ship accident in Suez Canal. The accident began on 23rd March 2021 when the Ever Given was stranded on the Suez Canal. The canal's passage was completely paralyzed for 6 days from March 23rd, 2021 to March 29th, 2021. As you can see, the time is money for container ships that ship logistics. If they don't arrive early and the deadline is extended, we'll also lose a lot of money. This year's accident on the Suez Canal has caused massive damages to logistics cargo ships around the world. This kind of accident shouldn't happen in the future, but if there is another best way, you can consider it. Why didn't people think of the Arctic route until now? Is it because of the thick Arctic ice? By the way, global warming has reduced the thickness and the area of Arctic ice, and the technology of icebreakers has also improved. As a result, the need for the development of Arctic route is only now emerging. There are some expected effects of developing Arctic route. Especially in Asia, the distance from Asia to Europe is drastically reduced from 22,000 kilometers to 15,000 kilometers through the Arctic route. This means that the period at least from 35 to 50 days by ship to Europe will be reduced to around 25 days. Also, developing the Arctic route can also exploit abundant resources in the polar region. By the way, what does the Arctic route have to do with Korea? If the Arctic route is developed, the United States and Russia are not the only country to get the benefit. The middle stop from Asia to Europe can be Busan in Korea. Why Busan port in Korea? Korea will play a pivotal role in connecting Europe and Asia faster and safer. The reason is related to the first reason why you should be interested in Korea. The first reason to be interested in Korea is that it will become a land logistic hub connecting Asia and Europe through the connection of railways on the Korean peninsula. Korea is a divided country. There are South Korea and North Korea. Many people are anxious to come to South Korea because of nuclear weapons North Korea has. Come to think of it, Korea is the world's 6th largest military power and has an alliance with the United States, the world's largest military power. There is no reason to be afraid. All Korean men can shoot and have enough military training. There are 500,000 regular army and 2.75 million veteran reservists. The South Korean government is doing its best to improve relations with North Korea, even though it has great military strength. After that, the railroad connection to the Korean peninsula will inevitably take place. When the Korean Peninsula's railway is connected, Busan becomes the starting point and the end point of logistics on the Korean Peninsula. The time of logistics transportation, which used to take 35 to 50 days by sea, will only take 17 to 25 days by the Continental Railway from Busan. Moreover, if a new airport in Gadok Island near Busan is established, Korea will be the center of marine, land, and air logistics. You can choose Busan as a logistic route from Asia to Europe. You can choose anything in Korea, whether to use the Ating route via Busan, go to Europe by train from Busan, or transfer logistics to Europe and the rest of the world by air at the new airport on Gadok Island near Busan. This means that Korea can serve as a hub for global logistics. The fifth reason to be interested in Korea is the unified Korea's growth potential is endless. Korea is the only divided country in the world. Someday, South Korea and North Korea will unify, just as Germany did. By the way, the power combining South Korea's technology and capital with North Korea's cheap labor will be beyond imagination. A lot of infrastructure will be established in North Korea. These things are not done only by the power of Korea alone. We desperately need help from many countries. Considering all of this, investing in Korea now is the right choice. According to the World Economic Report 2019 by CBER, Center for Business and Economic Research in the UK, the unified Korea's GDP in the 2030s is expected to beat Britain and France and will rank 6th in the world. According to a 2009 Global Stocks report, unified Korea's per capita income will reach $86,000 by 2050. Even if reunification of the Korean Peninsula is not achieved immediately, under the good relations with North Korea, it is not just a dream to go into the continent through railways. As the logistic hub mentioned earlier, the value of investment is sufficient. Please pay attention to Korea's rapid stride and progress for the next few years. The sixth reason to be interested in Korea is that it can play a leading role in overcoming corona as a vaccine-producing hub country. From June 11 to June 13, 2021, the G7 meeting, a group of 7 developed countries, was held in the United Kingdom. Korea is not a member of the G7, but we are attending the G7 meeting at the invitation of the host country, Britain. Why? Why was Korea invited to G7? Not long ago, Tom Frieden, former director of CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, had an interview with the South Korea broadcasting station. The interview was simple and clear. He said that we should make Korea become a hub for producing corona vaccines and supply vaccines to countries around the world. Why? Why should Korea become a vaccine hub country? The reason is simple. Korea has the second largest vaccine productivity in the world. The United States is number 1 and Korea takes the second place. In the next year, Korea will produce 3 billion doses of vaccine. It will supply vaccines not only to the developed countries but also the third world. The corona crisis is not confined to any countries. Until the end of the corona crisis, Korea will cooperate with many countries around the world as a vaccine production hub. It's not just for developed countries, it's for every country you live in. Lastly, the seventh reason to be interested in Korea is Korean cultural content have power. Recently, people around the world have become more interested in Korean Black group Boy Scout BTS, Blackpink, and Korean movies and dramas. The Korean film Parasite won for award at the 2020 Academy Award for Best Picture, Director, International Film, and Screenplay. Also, Netflix drama Squid Game becomes popular worldwide. Korea is also one of the tourist destinations people want to visit. In 2021, Airbnb, a global accommodation sharing company, asked Americans where they want to go this year. Seoul in Korea was included in the top 10 cities. Not only that, in 2021, National Geographic announced 25 world top destinations to visit after overcoming the coronavirus crisis. One of them is Gyeongju in Korea. If you are interested in Korea, if you are learning Korean, if you have a plan to travel to Korea, it is the best choice. So far, we've looked into 7 regions to be interested in Korea. I will organize it quickly. First, Korea is an advanced country and is ready to cooperate with all the countries in the world. Second, Korea can be the future market. Third, by pioneering the Arctic route, Korea can become a maritime logistics hub. Fourth, it will become a land logistics hub connecting Asia and Europe through the connection of railways on the Korean peninsula. Fifth, the unified Korea's growth potential is endless. Sixth, South Korea can play a leading role in overcoming corona as a vaccine-producing hub country. Seventh, Korean cultural content have power. So far, we have talked about 7 reasons to be interested in Korea. Did you get interested in Korea through this content? This topic is not the content that says Korea is the best for these 7 regions. Today, all in Korea just want to say that for these regions, Korea can cooperate with many other countries around the world in order to develop mutually. For less developed countries, Korea can be a good example that they can also grow enough in the future. And I told developed countries that Korea can share the future growth engine with them. How was it? Do you want to invest in Korea, travel to Korea, and learn Korean? This has been Rebecca, a real Korean woman from All in Korea, who tells you everything about Korea. Subscription and alarm settings are love. Please press like here. That's it, the end.